Hey there, ghosts and ghouls, Warlock Boo here, and I got a question for y'all. Have you ever had neighbors that were weird, maybe odd, or maybe an empty house that doesn't seem right next door to you? Well, I got a story for you, and this is a multi-parted one, so I'm going to be reading it one part each week. This is House 35A by I Know Where We're Going, Part 1. Enjoy. I live in an American milquetoast neighborhood. I garden. We have a swing set where our blonde little girls play with the neighbors' kids, and a makeshift dog park about a block down where our oldest plays baseball, and we run our big old dog. It was as normal a neighborhood as any. Lots of post-war houses, cookie-cutter construction, teachers and firefighters, and cops. We bought the place 6 years ago. It's American, except for the place next door. It's run down. It stands out in a neighborhood of ranch houses because it's a two-story, oddly narrow and falling apart. The driveway's gravel, definitely out of place in our neighborhood. And the yard is insane. It's completely overgrown in the back, with a crumbling concrete slab placed strangely in the middle of the backyard. The neighbors across the street told us that there had been a garage there until the city forced her to tear it down. When we moved in, there was the back end of the old tow truck sitting on the stone slab, and an ancient sedan of indeterminable color parked haphazardly in the grass. And behind the slab is a veritable forest. Nature took over a long time ago. The oldest, who was always pulling stupid shit with his friends when he was in his tweens, once attempted to carry a couch from the trash behind an apartment building a mile away, only to give up after a few blocks and leave it in some poor man's front yard. The cops were called, and our further questions, they admitted they were planning to set up a clubhouse in her backyard forest. Stupid, but that gives you an idea of the state of the back of the lot. Clubhouse worthy. We knew the place was weird before we even met our neighbor. Our lot has a bunch of sugar maples, oak trees, elms, pines, normal trees. Her house has one tree in the front yard. One, I have no idea what the hell it is because it's infected with something. You've seen trees with weird bulbous growths, one or two jutting out from the trunk of the tree. That's normal. This tree is made of those things. My husband and I tried to hug it one time on our way to the dog park, and we couldn't even touch each other's fingers from the opposite side of the tree. One giant growth. It also has, for reasons that completely escape me, a little metal tag nailed to the trunk at eye level. It's like a dog collar tag. It says 35A. I have no idea what the hell that means. A few months after we moved in, our dog started coming in from our fenced backyard with animal parts. Big, meaty bones. My husband said they were cow knuckles. I don't know what the fuck a cow knuckle is, but these were gross, and they look like definite animal parts. Not just knuckles from different cows. I've seen anything like these at a pet store. They seemed fresh, not quite oozing, but not quite preserved either. The dog thought they were the greatest thing since milk bones, but we couldn't figure out where they were coming from until she showed up on the few months later. Our neighbor, I won't name her because I'm honestly not sure whether to feel sorry for an obviously crazy old woman or if she was something else entirely. She came to our side door and rang the bell. She stunk of cigarettes, the kind that stink that happens when you're a chain smoker inside for 20 years. She wore a muumuu, and her hair was greasy. She seemed kind of normal for an old, large lady at first. Then she started thanking us profusely. We had no idea what the hell she was talking about until she explained that her neighbor, the old guy living on the other side, was at war with her. It was at this point that we realized she was probably schizophrenic or something. He explained that he'd been trying to break into her house for years, that our dog, who totally barks at every squirrel who dares comes within 100 feet of our fence, was barking at her neighbor. She thought our dog was scaring him off. I know what it sounds like, but Don't go near that man. She had been throwing the bloody bones over the fence as payment. I'm not going to lie. We had a good laugh after that, and we committed to avoiding her. She continued to supply our grateful dog with random animal parts. He liked it, so whatever. We were the only people who stopped at her weird house during trick-or-treat, and she seemed entirely thankful for our gesture. She died one day, maybe 6 months ago. She had a social worker who came over every week or so. One morning, the social worker arrived. I saw her go inside and ran out looking sick. The ambulance arrived 5 minutes later, and I watched him wheel a body bag out. I felt bad that she had died alone. Now I'm not so sure that she did. At first, there were people who came to clean out the house. Turns out she was quite the hoarder, which wasn't a surprise. Crazy is as crazy does. They took the half a tow truck. They took the sedan. They took a dumpster of stuff out of her house. On the few occasions when I walked past, I could see in the front door, and she had painted things on her wall. Letters looked like, but not English. Runes maybe? Just nonsense. Black paint on old wallpaper. Like she had just lost it 20 years ago and things just went down here from there. The place smelled bad. Like meat. You couldn't smell it from the street like meat. After that, things were quiet for a while. I'm still not clear on who they were. The bank maybe? They put up a for sale sign, but it was taken down within a couple of weeks. Then we started seeing the candle. Her dining room window faces our bedroom and my teenage son's bedroom. Someone keeps lighting a candle on her dining room table. We don't ever see anyone come or go, like ever, but the damn candle is lit every night. It's not a neighborhood where you'd really get squatters, but there's obviously someone in there. Candles don't just light themselves. We walked over there and peered in the window during the day, and I'll be damned if the candle wasn't blown out. But then it was burning bright after dark. You can see the letter maybe painted all over the room wall too. That was weird, but we got used to it. What we weren't ready for was the growling. That started maybe a month ago, maybe more than that, but it gets cold here in the winter, and we didn't really hang out in our back deck before then. I was having a perfectly lovely conversation with my son's perfectly lovely girlfriend. It was dark, 9 maybe, and then it fucking growled from her forest. Where we live, if an animal's growling, it's a raccoon or a possum or a stray dog or something equally relatively harmless. This was not. It sounded like a goddamn bear. Our dog is over 80 pounds, and this growl was orders of magnitude deeper than his growl. It was so off, so wrong, that the three of us didn't even stop to discuss it. We just leapt up simultaneously and ran in the house. We laughed once we got inside. I mean, what could that possibly be anyways? But we were all unnerved. We crowded around the window facing her house, looking for a glimpse of the eye in the forest, looking for anything that made sense. And then, and I swear I'm not making this up, the candle lit on the dining room table of that house. The house where no one lived for months. It just lit up. We all saw it. No one lit it. We would have seen them. And we were looking right at it. It was still burning when we went to bed hours later, and it was out in the morning. We've heard that thing 4 or 5 times since then. We don't go in our backyard at night anymore. When we let the dog out at night, he barks and barks at the fence of her lot. More than usual. A week ago, he refused to go out after dark and peed on the rug for the first time since he was a puppy. We're considering an expedition into the house 35A. We're pretty sure we can break in without a lot of effort. There's got to be someone in there. So, my ghosts and ghoulies, what do you think part 2 will have in store for our family and see what's in the house? Part 2, by the way, will be called We Met the Neighbor. So, what do you guys think of this story? I think it's a bit creepy. What the hell is next door to them? What was that old woman? Is it a ghost like me trying to get through? She said her neighbor on the other side, and I haven't read part 2 yet. I'm going to read it after I do this so I can record for next week. But What do you guys think? Give me some comments down in below, and like this if you liked it, and please subscribe. It helps me a lot. It helps my ego a lot. It's been going down here from here. But this is Warlock Blue. Hope to be spoken y'all later. Bye. I found you.
No! No!